Good evening to you. This is a Real Woman in Me show, and my name is Lady Reverend Mrs. Charlotte Adu-Poku. You know how we do it every Monday when it's 10 p.m. It is all about the Real Woman in Me. Call a friend, call a family, and let's all learn tonight. Remember to go to social media, all the platform, Facebook, The Real Woman in Me Official. You go to Instagram, The Real Woman in Me _. You go to YouTube, Reverend Dr. Charlotte Adu-Poku. Follow and subscribe to my page. And your life will never be the same. And tell somebody every Monday, 10 p.m. We are live on Facebook with the Real Woman in Me show. We are live on Praise TV. Join us every time and be a blessing. I hope you've enjoyed all the episodes. I hope last week's own was a blessing to you. Today, we're talking about the power of silence. The power of silence. I just want you to learn this. I want you to know this. The power of silence, if you have that control, if you are able to deal with it, if you are able to get yourself into that position, it helps a lot. It helps prevent a lot of things in your life. Sometimes in the marriage, there are things that happens you wish you can also express yourself. There are things that goes on you wish you can also say you're part of it. There are things that goes around you think you have the best way to explain yourself to the other party. But let me teach you this. The power of silence is very good for everyone that wants to be in marriage. Sometimes your partner will show some emotional attitude and it will push you to also say something. The more you talk, the more you tell people the problem, the more you share things to the world, the more you tell them what your problem is and what your idea or the skills you have to deal with it, the more people know what you're about and they are able to fight against you. But when you are silent over things and you deal with it within, you pray with it within, you may be silent outside. It doesn't mean you are silent about the issue. You may be dealing with it in prayer, fighting it with it in prayer. You need to learn this when it comes to silence. Sometimes your partner may bring a lot of issues and they're expecting you to also respond. And you think you have the right to also respond to the things they may be asking you. It is always the best to keep quiet. You know, I want to teach we all have to learn it because we all made those mistakes before. Sometimes when you're too much in pain in marriage or in a relationship, you wish you could get somebody to talk to, somebody to express yourself to. But the question is who you are talking to. Are you sure you are safe in the hands of that person? Are you sure the things you are telling them, it is safe? I don't blame you because when you're too much in pain, everybody needs somebody to talk to. When you're going through too much situations, you need somebody to open yourself up to. Otherwise, when you're quiet about it or you don't get anybody to help you out, it may come to destroy you. But let me teach you this. There are some situations you can be silent about without complaining to anybody, without talking to anybody about it, but dealing with it in prayer. Keep quiet over some things. Sometimes the people will provoke you to the point that they want to get an idea of what you have, or they want to get the next plan you have. So they will do everything to provoke you for you to also in anger say things that will come back to destroy you. If you're married and there are things going on in the marriage and you are embittered or you are going through too much pain, and sometimes you wish you can get somebody to express, yes, and sometimes it's good to get the right people to talk to. But I want to teach you this silence direction, because if somebody is fighting with you and you are not fighting, there is no fight. If somebody provokes you to the point that they wish to hear a word out of you and they don't get that word from you, you are always secured. If somebody puts you on that edge to the point that you are so angry for you to release your secret, you have no weapon again. But when you understand the power of silence in your life, it helps to cut so many things in your life. It helps to destroy everything the enemy has plotted. They won't get the chance to stand on to accuse you. Sometimes we get angry and we say things. Let me tell you this. There was this woman that had been married for 25 years. The young lady approached her and asked her, for all these 25 years,
we've never heard or seen you and your husband having issues or something. What is going on? Do you know what she said? She said, the day you will see what I'm about, you understand why I am quiet. So she didn't explain things to this young lady. So 5 years on, it means on their 30th anniversary in the marriage, then she was able to open herself up and talk. And people were shocked of the things she has gone through and how she was able to survive. He said the husband tormented her so many times. People said a lot of things to the husband about her. And when the husband comes to her, the husband will use the words or the things that people have told him to accuse and all that. And she kept quiet. He said, Mommy, sometimes I wish I could explain to my husband because I have evidence that shows that whatever they have told him is not the truth. But something told me to be quiet, that soon the truth will be heard. So it took me over 30 years now. One accusation my husband placed on me for years, I never explained to him. But he became so angry, said a lot of things to me, and the day he was talking to me, tears were just flowing. I didn't utter a word. Then 29 years now, the reason why she said she was talking about this issue now on the anniversary is that after 29 years of the marriage, now that they are 30 years, the person that said things about her came and told the truth. And when he told the truth, the husband has regretted. But he said, Mommy, if I had opened my mouth at that moment, I would have ended the marriage. Because per the things that happened and per the words that my husband gave to me, I nearly ended it because I had to end it. But there was something that told me, hold on, I will vindicate you. I was embittered for some years, but when I understood what God wanted to do, I kept quiet over it. Today, it is 30 years of the marriage, and my husband wished he knew the truth. He could have done something better. But Mommy, over these 30 years, I have learned a lot. I have been matured enough. I have realized a lot of things. That anger destroys things. Emotions destroys things. And today, I have become a mature and a strong woman. And my husband that was listening to people have lost a lot of things in his life. He said, Mommy, let me tell you this. I kept quiet. I was building my life. Nobody knew what I had in plan. Today, by the grace of God, if we will sit down, we want to talk about assets or wealth as woman, and my husband can testify, I have more than what he has. I have never argued about anything because in the beginning, he thought because of his money, I came to marry him. And some things he thought I was a gold digger, some things he said. Today, he knows even half of my things I have, he doesn't have them. I kept quiet. I was building my life. I was building my future. The things they were expecting me to say, because out of anger, I could have released a lot of things because I wanted to prove myself to them. But after 29 years, he has come to see the truth of everything. And now he has regretted it, and he has seen that I wasn't the devil he thought I was. Not that I couldn't have explained myself, but for me to save my marriage, I became silent. Just to wait for the right time for God to say what he has to say. Today, I was speaking to one of the men I respect a lot, an elderly man. Sometimes you need to get close to these elderly people and get information. And he told me the story. He said, woman of God, if I had known better and if I had kept quiet, I wouldn't be divorced by now. I said, what happened? He said, my wife was one of the beautiful women, very submissive woman. But out of anger, my wife uttered some word to me that she has never done it before. So I want to go for almost 9-10 years that I've been married to this woman. She has never dishonored me. She has never disrespected me. Never. She respects me to every level. And even my family loves her so much because she's so beautiful and she's so humble to me. I have never regretted marrying that woman. But mommy, out of anger one day, I said something to her and she flipped. And that was the first day I've ever seen her speak to me in a bad way. He said, mommy, my wife was angry and she uttered a word. And if I was wise enough and I knew the power of silence, I could have prevented my divorce. Out of anger, I didn't say anything. But the next day, I drove to my wife's village and I called the uncles and the family and I said, I want divorce. I want to divorce her. Because she just made one mistake. Because she just uttered a word and I couldn't take it. And I was angry. That ended my marriage. I went there and I said, I want everybody said anything. I didn't mind. And I was angry and I said a lot of things and a whole lot of things to the family. So we got divorced. And from that time up to now, I have not met any woman like my wife. If I knew what you are saying today, I could have kept quiet when she was angry. Allow her to talk. And in the right time, have a way to explain things to her. It could have helped. But I couldn't keep silent. When she was angry and she was talking, I also felt like I'm a man. So therefore I have the right to also speak things out. And I was angry and I said, I'm going to divorce you. I won't marry you again. For what you have done, it's the end of our lives. That word he said, he acted on that word. He said, for 9 to 8 years I married this woman. We've never had issues like this. So why couldn't he just forgive and save their marriage? So they lost the marriage up to now. He has never, ever married again or met any woman. He has tried severally to marry other women, but he couldn't because none of them can be compared to the first one. He said, woman of God, now that woman is still there. I wish I knew today I would have changed and done better. But I couldn't keep silent out of anger. I said a lot of things and that destroyed my marriage. He said, every time I see people, couples, I always advise them that if one is angry, one must learn the skills of the power of silence. The power of silence helps you to keep the plans you have ahead. The power of silence gives you a strong point that people may not have idea about. The power of silence can prevent calamities to happen. The power of silence can protect your life. When you expose too much to people, when you expose too much to the world, everybody knows your secret. Everybody knows your pain. You have no story else to tell. They know everything about you. You have no secret again. And a man without a secret is a man with no power. I know you want to explain yourself. You think you have the right to do it. But it's not every situation you should explain yourself. Sometimes I keep asking myself, if I tell the world about it, what can they do about it? Because the people you are talking to, they may also have their own problem. The people you want to express yourself to may also be going through worse things than yours. Yes, sometimes you need a shoulder to lie on or rely on. But there are some issues you can work on it yourself and deal with it in prayer. It is so painful to be accused wrongly whilst you know you are not doing what they say you are doing. Yes, you can explain yourself. But listen, anyone that doesn't care about you, no matter how long or how much or whatever you have to explain to them, they still don't care about you. No matter how desperate you are to tell them you are innocent, somebody that has already made up his mind, they don't care about your innocency. As far as they are ready to accuse you, they will accuse you. So sometimes it is better to be silent than to be talking. It is better to deal with the issues within with prayer than to expose it to people. Because when you're able to have the power of silence, it helps you to surprise your enemies. It helps you to shock them, because they wouldn't know what is in your mind. They wouldn't know the next step you are taking. But when you begin to talk, when you begin to expose yourself, you have no power again. If you know how to deal with it in silence, that as they're expecting you to talk, as they're expecting you to explain yourself, you've also made up your mind to be quiet about it, so that people will keep on wondering, what do you have in mind? What is your next plan? What are you going to do? They are always alert to know what is ahead or what you're going to do, because their expectation was to hear what you have in mind. Their expectation is to get the another plan you have. It's better to keep silent sometimes. It gives you power. It makes you more powerful. It makes you more dangerous for the other party that is expecting something out of you, expecting you to react, and you smile over the issue. They expect you to be angry. It may not be easy to walk and keep quiet over issues you know you have evidences to prove yourself. It may not be easy sometimes to keep quiet and watch people walk over you. It is difficult. It is true. It's very difficult. But if you will be able to handle this in silence and work with it in prayer and fight your battles in secret, that they don't know how you deal with it, but before they will know, things are already happening for you, then people will begin to ask, how do you do it? That is your secret, your power of keeping quiet. They'll begin to find out, when did you start? How did you do it? Because they know that if everybody is doing something, they expose it. I have this plan, I have this dream. As Joseph did, he had a dream, so he spoke it out. He told the family about it. If Joseph knew how to be silent about the dreams he had, it could have maybe saved him. But listen, somebody needs to make that mistake for us to learn. It's not everything you need to expose to people, because there's some people, they are not mature enough to handle the kind of things you tell them. There's some people, they can't handle what you are telling them. So it's either what you tell them will make them fight against you or destroy everything you have planned. They will go ahead of you and take your plan and they will use it. So sometimes we need to learn this. Silence is a key for success in marriage. If you want to stay in the marriage, try to retaliate back or try to explain yourself in every issue or every situation in the marriage doesn't give you a power to sustain the marriage. But when you have the power of silence, that what they expect you to react over, you smile over it and you walk and don't say anything. You keep them in the state of wondering what is in your head. Keep them in that state. Let them be asking questions in their head, and let them be shocked at the end of what you are going to do. They are expecting you to say things, and out of anger we expose ourselves to the world. Out of anger we may say things that will either destroy the marriage or destroy us personally. But when you are able to handle the anger and the pain, you know what? I'm not blaming you, I'm not judging, because we've all made those mistakes in our state of anger and our state of, pain and all that. We want to express ourselves. We want people to listen. You see, there are people around you that want to get that point with you when they see you're vulnerable, and they take advantage of it. I have one friend that said this to me. The next person that is trying to give you a shoulder to rely on is doing that because you are vulnerable at this point. Is doing that because you have opened yourself up, given information to them, and they're going to stand on the same thing to make you feel comfortable. But after being comfortable, do you know the next thing they will do to you? Because you have exposed what you're going through, therefore they want to be on your good books. So you will feel they are on your side. But why don't you keep quiet and deal with it within and with prayer and watch how things are going to unfold than to speaking things out and try to explain yourself out. Yes, it's not what happens. If you don't have the right people to talk to, the right people to hold you when you're in that point or you get to that stage in life, you are bound to make the mistakes. So don't you tell yourself because the mistakes you made, you can't do it again. I want to encourage you because I have been encouraged. So I also want to encourage you. We get to a point in our lives we expose too much to people. We get to a point in life that we are too much embittered. We've gone through too much. And we are crying within to express ourselves to the world and tell them, it's not what you think. But I've come to learn this. What they think doesn't matter. But what they will know in the future will speak for you. How they see you today doesn't really matter. But what the end of the story will be matters a lot. So the beginning of a story is not good, it's not that important. But the end of it is what is important. So if you are going to give your information in between your journey, you're going to lose focus and you can't end well. But if you know where God is taking you, and if you know what He has said about you, the focus should be on Him alone. Listen, sometimes voices around can distract you from looking up to God, the author and the finisher of your faith. People will tell you per the actions they've seen, per the things that is going on in your life. Everybody want to give you an advice. Move on, do something, say something, show an action, to prove yourself and all that. Listen, when you get to that state of your life, learn to be silent. Whilst people are expecting you to speak, the whole world is expecting you to say something. Tell them you got nothing to say. There is something I always want to say to people. Everything you hear about me is true. Whether good, whether bad, it is true. What you've heard about me is not a problem, but how I'm going to end is what is my problem. Because you can hear something about me today, but if I'm able to end well, it will clean what you heard about me and change your perspective about me. How long will you fight to make people understand you? In my life, I got to this point that I felt nobody understood me. Nobody understood what I was going through and all that. So there's one friend I always speak to, and I said that why don't they understand and get my feeling and get to understand that this is not what I meant and all that. And that friend will always tell me, time will tell. Charlotte, just keep quiet. Do what you are doing. Do it well. I believe in you. Continue praying. Continue doing it. The end will justify the means. Today, I can really understand why he always tells me that. Because in those days, I can get so angry and I get so furious and I want to speak out. I want somebody to hear me, somebody to understand me. It's like a cry within that you need somebody to hear it within, because if I even want to explain, I can't explain it well. I wish somebody would enter me and get what I'm trying to say. We've been to that state where we want people to hear, people to be on our side, people to tell us, yes, you didn't do wrong, you are good, you are fine. But I've come to learn from this friend. You don't need anybody to justify anything. You don't need anybody to tell you are good or not. You don't need anybody to judge whether they are wrong or you are right. Quiet. Focus on God. Focus on the giftings you have. Focus on the opportunity they have given to you. Inspire, impact, and make sure even when you are weak, remember the one that picked you and brought you here. Let him be your focus. That has helped me, because I nearly made so many mistakes, made so many decisions that it could have destroyed me. Because out of pain, out of anger, okay, then let the world, whatever they're saying, let it be so. Let me prove them, yes, what they were thinking was right. Why should I prove something to anybody? Why should I? It is me and me alone. What they want to believe, they can't believe it. But the end story will either shut them up and bring a change in their lives. For them to come and say, we thought wrong. Per what we have seen, we should have got to know better than to judge you. That has been my inspiration, and it's still keeping me. I want you to have the same thing. No matter how the state of anger or frustration you will be, because sometimes in marriage it's hell. I know it. Sometimes you are so confused you don't know what to do. Sometimes you feel you can end it and move on and be okay. You want to express yourself and explain your part for the world to know that this is what happened. But I've come to learn this, and I thank God for the opportunity to learn and know better. This opportunity has helped me to learn how to be silent and not say some things out of anger, and watch the things I need to do, be more focused, and look up to the one that has called me. Silence is a strong key, keeping you alive, keeping your future alive, and keeping people following you to believe in the God that has called you. So if you want to keep the marriage, be silent. If you want to keep that relationship, be silent. Sometimes you don't need to open your mouth to say anything. Smile over it. Deal with it within. Walk over every pain and tell yourself you are better than this. We lose ourselves sometimes. It's normal. It's part of the journey. That is why I'm here today. If you have lost yourself, get these words. Lift yourself up again and do it again. If we're not left alone, if we are still surviving, if we are still alive, if we are able to get something to tell you, if God can speak to us again to speak to you, then there's nothing impossible God cannot do with your life. Learn how to be silent. That is what I've learned, and that is what I'm learning, and that is what I want to learn for the rest of my life. You also have to do the same. Don't explain to anybody. Explain to God. Don't speak too much. Speak to God. Don't fight before men. Fight with God. Fight in prayer. Speak in prayer. Cry in prayer. He will answer. It doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is at the end, what is going to come out from that situation. So within the 30 years of this woman's life, now the truth has been told. She was accused. She was judged. But she kept quiet. And now the Lord has spoken for her. Learn to be silent in that situation. Don't express anything to anybody. Let God deal with it for you. And you will not regret it at the end of the story. Remember, every Monday it's 10 p.m. to 10:30. The Real Woman in Me show will come your way. You go to Facebook, The Real Woman in Me Official. Instagram, The Real Woman in Me _. YouTube, Reverend Dr. Charlotte Odro. Remember, every Thursday night, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. is Midnight War. It's on Facebook and Instagram. You cannot miss it. Join me every Thursday, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. and let's pray. And Monday to Friday morning, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. is Dig Deep. That is our morning devotion. On Facebook, The Real Woman in Me Official. Instagram, The Real Woman in Me _. Let's do the devotion together. Your life will never be the same. Remember, every Monday, 10 p.m., The Real Woman in Me show will come live. Tell people to join and be a blessing. I love you, but Jesus loves you more. And thank God for my crew and everyone that stands with me. You are loved. God bless you. Have a beautiful night. Bye.